The following program is brought to you by the McSilver Institute for Poverty Policy and Research. To learn more, visit www.mcsilver.org, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, and Chris, thank you. As Chris mentioned, this study came out of a discussion that we had when they came to Ghana, and Mary and I talked at length about it, and I'm glad that when I told her that I was coming to the States in December, she's like, oh, why don't you come and share with us what you found from the studies, and I'm really happy to be here to share with you what we have found from the study. So this is, as you can see, it's an assessment of mental distress among incarcerated population in Ghana, and we use the Kessler psychological distress scale. I was just talking with Deborah, and she told me that is something they're also using in India to do a study on mental distress in that country. And this is just an outline of the presentation for today. We're going over the background of mental health in Ghana, and then the findings from the study. And a way forward, I'm just thinking of ways that we in Ghana are trying to see how we can find solutions to mental health issues in the system. And particularly a good friend of mine who was also working at the Johns Hopkins Community Psychiatry, who's also back in Ghana, we're thinking about ways that we can find a way to introduce some ideas that are working here and how we can translate it back in Ghana. And then there is about a short minute, 4-minute, very short video that I want to show you that can give you a perspective on mental health in Ghana. Okay, so the background of the study, I'm sure most of you are familiar with some of these statistics, so I apologize if you find them repetitive. Of course, globally, it is estimated that the burden of mental health is about 12%, and which is expected to increase to about 15% in the next 5 to 6 years. And a quarter of any country's population is expected to, it's estimated that a quarter of the nation's population will suffer at least a mental disorder in their lifetime, and of that, an estimated 10% at any point in time will have a mental disorder. So using those estimations, we estimated that about 2.4, 2.5 million of Ghanaians at present have a mental disorder. And who? Okay. Okay. The World Health Organization about 7 years ago estimated that about 650 Ghanaians, which is about 3% of the population, have the severe form of mental disorders. This is actually about 2% higher than the general estimation. And currently, Ghana has an approximately about 18 psychiatrists practicing in the country. This is extremely low compared to the number of people who need mental health care. So this eventually creates about over 90% gap in the system for mental health care. And annually we have about between 6,000 to 8,000 people that are admitted into the very limited psychiatric beds available for mental health care. And most of them are usually located in the urban areas. And when I say urban areas, Ghana is divided into different 10 regions, and the 3 psychiatric facilities that are available are only located in the southern part of the country, which means the northern part of the country with no public mental health facility at all. And currently, people with mental disorders usually they go to what is called the career camps. That is their first point of call. And the problem being that because there is lack of public mental health facilities available to them, people would definitely approach these career camps. And these are run by religious organizations, and the video that I've talked about would actually clarify things more for you to understand how these things operate. So because of the fact that we have limited the prayer camps tend to serve a large number of people who need mental health care in Ghana. And also, we have a great number of individuals in our criminal justice system who also are suffering from mental disorders, and yet these people don't usually get diagnosed or even get treated because of the fact that they are incarcerated in a system that doesn't usually find a way to address their mental health issues. And at the moment, there is no known study that is available in Ghana regarding the proportion of individuals in our criminal justice system that actually are suffering from mental disorders. And there is a colonial mentality in Ghana about the way people with mental illness are usually treated. In the past, in the 1800s, 1900s, when people with mental illness are found, I think the thinking is just lock them up. They pick them up and then they incarcerate them, either put them in jail or just put them in institutions. And of course, there were very limited facilities available to hold them. So eventually, you will find all these people roaming about on the street and getting into the wrong side of the law and getting incarcerated. That is why you find a large number of them behind bars, and yet they don't get the treatment that they need. And just also talk about the forensic mental health care. Because of that kind of thinking, people don't have they don't have the knowledge about the fact that people who are incarcerated with mental illness have the opportunity to live very normal, productive lives if they get treatment. So the thinking has always been just lock them up and then put them away. And it doesn't just, this is not a thinking that is common among the general population. This is also within the system as a whole. Because in 2012, Ghana passed the Mental Health Act of 2012, and there wasn't any mention of forensic mental health care in that law at all. So which tells you the national thinking with regard to forensic mental health care. And that law actually replaced what we had in the system called the Mental Health Decree of 1972. So it 40 years, it took Ghana 40 years just to amend the mental health law. So you can imagine what people with mental illness were going through in that period. Of course, that decree had emphasized institutionalizing people with mental illness. And this new law is trying to change that, but yet, despite the passage of the law, nothing has been done to actually implement it at all. There's no funding, nothing, it's just a law. So which some people have considered a great significance, the fact that the law has been passed, but there's no teeth to it. And also, because we have very few public health facilities existing to serve these people, a number of them go undiagnosed and untreated. And this study was actually intended to explore the proportion of individuals in the criminal justice system that are suffering from mental disorders. So that is just the background and the purpose of the study. So the methods. This is a cross-sectional study that used the Kessler Psychological Distress Scale. We use the interviewer-administered version, version 10, called the K10. It was developed by Professor Ron Kessler from Harvard University for use in the U.S. National Health Information Survey. So that was how the tool came about. The scores from that tool usually ranges from 10, which is a minimum score, to the 15, which is the highest score. So each it has 10 questions. That is why it's called a K10. It has 10 questions, and each question has like the Likert scale from 1 to 5. So 10 times 5, 1 times 10, and then 5 answers, which will give you a minimum score of 10 and then 50. So 1 being not likely, doesn't feel anything at all, and then 5 being like the extreme end of how somebody feels regarding the question that they are being asked. So the scores range from, as I said, 10 to 50, and any score below 20 is usually an indication the tool has been used in several countries, including South Africa and in Nigeria, where a large number of people would actually use it on a very large number of people. So it was actually validated in Africa from those studies. And regarding its use among the prison population in Australia, it was also used to assess the level of psychological distress among prisoners in Australia in their what is called the Australian National Prisoner Health Census. So they do a periodic health census among the people who are incarcerated in Australia, and that is a tool that they also use. It's a very client-friendly type of screener, and it was chosen versus the World Mental Health Organization CD or the Composite International Diagnostic Interview tool because of the fact that it is a very user-friendly type of tool, and also the World Mental Health CD usually requires that before you can actually administer, you have to be trained in a World Health Organization approved site. We don't have any in Ghana, so this was going to be a problem if we were supposed to use this particular tool. I think, Christian, I don't know if we can advance it.
Yeah, sure. Next one?
Okay, so the study took place at the Tamale Central Prison. Tamale is the regional capital of Northern Region. The Northern Region is one of Ghana's 10 administrative regions. And as I mentioned earlier on, we have all the public health facilities located in the south, nothing in the north. And the Northern Region happens to be the largest of Ghana's 10 administrative regions. And we chose this facility because it is one of the oldest prison facilities in Ghana. It was built in 1914, which means it's about 100 years old today. And it was obviously built by the British. The Britain colonized Ghana, so they built it at that time, and nothing has happened to that facility since then. No renovation, nothing. And the interview process included a demographic data questionnaire that we developed just to get the demographic information. So the Tamale Central Prison Facility houses inmates, which includes those serving life sentences and also terminal sentences, as well as those on pretrial detentions. Just a little on the pretrial detention. People can commit very minor crimes and take them to hold just here maybe a few hours or so. In Ghana, unfortunately, you can be sitting in pretrial for 5 years. Maybe for a crime that you will only get for 6 months in jail.
Wow.
Yes. So that's those type of population that we interview. And the facility faces numerous challenges, just like other prison facilities in Ghana. It's aging structures, very overcrowded, lack of adequate sanitation. And unfortunately, I don't have any pictures to show you because they didn't allow us to take any pictures. The UN went to some of the prisons in Ghana asking to go in. They allowed them to go. They took pictures, and then they wrote their report, published it with the pictures, and there was a backlash against Ghana. So they banned anyone having cell phones or anything if you go to the prison. So they took away our cell phones for any electronic gadget when we got there. So in all, Ghana has approximately between 12 to 15,000 people incarcerated. Okay, so the prison sampling, the prison facility, as at the time that we did the interviews, had about 280 people. 267 of them were men and 13 were women. And maybe you may be thinking 280 is a small number, but if you look at the facility, it's a very small, probably built for less than 100 people, now accommodating more than 200 people. And we use a stratified sampling use simple random sampling to sample the men first, and then the women next. So because of the fact that the women weren't as many, we interviewed almost all of them except two who did not provide written consent. And the final sample that we had was 100 individuals, which consisted of 89 men and 11 women. So for the statistical analysis, we used a chi-square test to determine the proportion of mental distress among the inmates that were sampled. We also use adjusted and unadjusted logistic regression to determine the odds for moderate to severe mental distress among those who were interviewed. The dependent variable mental distress was coded as a dichotomous variable such that anyone with scores of between 10 and 24 would yield no mental or no to mild mental disorder, and those scoring anywhere from 25 to 50 yielded moderate to severe mental distress. And analysis with p-values equal to or less than 0.05 was considered. And this is just a summary of the variables and how they were measured. So of course, because we're dealing with a population that were incarcerated, the study had to be explained to every single one of them. They were assured of the fact that they were there on their own will. The prison facility didn't force any one of them to do the interview, and at any point in time they could withdraw without the prison facility or authorities punishing them for anything. And the University of Ghana Ethical Committee for the Humanities also approved the study. The Ghana Prison Service in Accra, which where the health interest is located, and also in the Tamale area, Commander also authorized the study to be done. And they actually provided us with a very safe room where both sides is respected. And now the results. As I indicated, we interviewed 100 people in all, and the mean age was 37 years with a standard deviation of 15.7. The youngest inmates were actually two 18-year-olds, a male and female, and the oldest was a 101-year-old man who was actually on his cane, very fragile man. And there were more than 5 different ethnic groups represented in the sample, and a little over half of them were Muslims. And also 65% of them were registered under the Ghana National Health Insurance Program, which provides free national health improvement for the people who cannot afford it. And overall, more than 50% of the respondents had a K10 score of 25 or higher, which put them in the moderate to severe category. And so this, just for a descriptive outcome, more than half of them were in the age category 30 to 59, and then 11% were in the age category 60 to 101. And for their education, 50% of them had no formal education at all, hadn't been to school, and no educational background, and just a quarter of them had completed secondary education, which is the equivalent of high school. And for the ethnic groups, over 70% of them actually belong to the ethnic group that resided in the northern part of the country. And these are just the usual classification of ethnic groups in Ghana. We have the Akan, the Ewe, the Ga, Moli, the Gumba, and then the other ethnic groups. So the Moli, the Gumba ethnic group, just for you, constitutes about 16-17% of Ghana's 25 million people. And the other tribes are also within the northern region, but they don't fit into any of these categories. So we have different ethnic groups that are also residing in the region as well. Now for the mental distress outcome. So as you can see, those in the age category 60 to 101, about 55% of them had moderate mental distress, and 18% of them had a severe form of mental distress, and just about 27% of them had no mental distress at all. And for those under 30, as you can see, between 0 to 24, which means either no mental illness or very mild mental illness, and then 37% of those had the moderate form, and 29% had the severe form of mental distress. And for the females, 46% of them had this moderate mental distress, compared to 27% of them who had a severe form of mental distress. And for those with no mental distress at all, I think you can see just about the equal number of men and women. And for those with college education, I know this thing may seem quite large, but there were just two individuals who had colleges. So just to put this in perspective for you here, so just two individuals had some college degree there, and one person fell in that moderate category, and the other one did not. And for those with primary education, 48% of them had the severe form of mental distress. And the interesting thing was that those with no education at all, they seem to fare better compared to those with some sort of education. And that was something that actually frustrated me, because in other countries you would probably see the opposite, people with low education scoring higher. So for the logistic regression, compared to those in the age category less than 30, of course, the 60 to 101s were more likely to have severe or moderate to severe mental distress, and compared to female to the male, were also likely to have moderate to severe mental distress. And the same goes for the education. Those with no education at all, compared to those with college, obviously the two people there, they were less likely to have the mental distress. And for the ethnic groups, we use the Akan as the reference category, and for those particular tribes in the northern part of the country, which is the Moli, the Bumba tribes, and the other tribes, they were likely, compared to the Akan, to have moderate to severe mental distress. And the same goes for the Muslims compared to Christians. And for people who read inmates who said they were registered for the National Health Insurance Program, they were less likely compared to those who were not to have severe mental distress. So as I mentioned earlier on, this is actually the first of an exploratory study, the first type of study to estimate the rates of the mental distress among incarcerated population in Ghana. And the study kind of provides the baseline information for the future research into that area as well. And since we found that people who registered for the National Health Insurance Program were less likely to have moderate to severe mental distress, I think it begs to say that I think that more people need to be put in that program, because it doesn't cost them anything at all, because they are incarcerated and they don't earn any income. They wouldn't be paying any insurance premium at all. The government pays it for them. And so for some recommendations, we suggest that future studies should definitely enroll a very large and diverse groups. Hopefully it will provide some background information, or probably provide explanations as to the variations that we saw from this particular study. And also the prison service and the government should also try to invest in early screening, particularly screening the brief intervention and referral to treatment way, people who the prison officials find to have some mental distress would be able to get screening and then early treatment. Particularly if they are enrolled in the National Health Insurance Program, they'll be able to get any treatment for their illness. And another interesting thing is that, of course, in Ghana, the mental health treatment is free. So if you are able to make your way into or get admitted into the mental health facility, but the challenge is how do you get in? Because there's very limited facilities that are available. Okay, so the way forward, I had mentioned earlier on just things that we think can be done to obviously address the mental health issues. So we think about what we thought about or discuss is implementing what we had in Baltimore called the crisis response initiative, where there's a hotline people can call 24/7 and talk to someone if you have mental health issues. And in Ghana, there's nothing like that at all. If you are suffering from mental illness, or even people with suicidal ideations, they have no idea who they'll be calling. And if you have mental illness, family definitely shuns you. And the worst thing is that if you do, and then you even end up incarcerated, nobody even wants to deal with you anymore. It's more or less like you are a social outcast. If you are released from prison, the family doesn't want you back at home. Nobody wants to give you anything at all. So that is why we're thinking maybe having something like this implemented in Ghana, even initially on a pilot basis, to see how well it goes. People can have a number that they can call and then talk to someone who is trained in mental health. At least, even if it's someone with suicidal ideation, they can talk them out of it at that moment. So that's something that we are thinking of. And put the website out in the previous.
Is the video going to play from here, or should I pull the YouTube
Yeah, I
up?
think you can pull the YouTube. So the YouTube is just going to give you the just generally how mental health people with mental illness are generally treated in Ghana, and particularly when they go to these prayer camps that are obviously being the first point of call for people with mental illness. Yes. And if I may add, please, some of you may find it extremely disturbing, so I just want to put it. just have to acknowledge our dean,